कर्ममाङ्गानि वाक् प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते यौपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Let us feel our innate divinity in our heart as the source of everything, and let us feel connected with that source of everything. Let us feel the origin and goal of the universe. Let us feel the all-pervading divine existence itself, knowledge itself, and bliss itself all around us. Om peace, peace, peace be unto all. So dear friends, let us begin with today's discussion. Hopefully the cough will not be too much. So if it is, then I will again put on the mask. Yeah. Let us meditate on the opening verse. Janmadhyasya yatondvayavitaratashthartheshvabhinyasvarat Tene brahmhridaya adikavaye muhyanti yasurayah Tejo varimridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha Dhamna svena sada nirastagvagam satyam param dhimahi. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent reality, one who illuminates with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of in whom the world of the three gunas subsists just as the combination of materials like fire, water, and earth subsists in their causes without changing their elemental nature. In whose consciousness there is nothing false. On the truth supreme we meditate. So this is the essence of what is discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam, that we meditate on the truth supreme and should therefore try to attune to the truth. It is, and what is the truth? That which survives. The names and forms, they appear and disappear. That is not the truth, therefore. So that which is just names and forms, that should not be considered as truth. So this is the essence of this beautiful, very important verse in the beginning of Bhagavatam, and it gives the essence of the whole text, that yes, that is what is to be sought out, the truth supreme. So the truth supreme, as mentioned here, what is it? It is not a relative truth. Relative truth is something that changes. What is today may not be true tomorrow. They are the part and parcel of our changing identity. They are not, the supreme truth. And so supreme truth is that which transcends these relative limitations and makes us actually see that which is beyond all names and forms. So that is the way to become liberated also. If you see the truth supreme, then that is liberation. If we do not, then it is not going to be the help for the liberation. So let us feel that truth supreme and go for the realization of that. So that is what is we treat as the matter of urgent this proclamation or urgent need to hold on to, that this is what we should hold on to, the truth supreme, which just transcends all the relatives. Relative truth is just within the limitations of particular forms, particular names, particular whatever the situations that we live in. In that there is some truth, that is the relative truth. But relative truth, while we must follow relative truth also, but on the basis of the truth supreme. So that is what is the idea in this verse. In the last class we were seeing about the that how the incarnation of God, Rishabha, is illustrating this path. So he had incarnated as a human being, just as assured to the King Navi. We have seen that story, that they all prayed to the God, that please God, you come bring someone like you on the earth. But God said, there is nobody like me. So what I will do is, I myself will come as the son of Nabi. And that is how is the story of this Rishabha. He was called Rishabha. And there is Rishabha was born with all the well-known signs of Lord Hari. So please forgive me for the spelling mistakes. That is what it is, that he was thus being God incarnate. He had all the auspicious signs of symbols and conch on his person at the appropriate place. So everybody thus recognized that he is God himself, incarnate as a human being for the purpose of elevating us. So God becomes man so that man can realize God. That is how the process is. That what is the purpose of God assuming human form? Because if God assumes human form, then we can see, human beings can see that here is the human form and also there is the divine manifestation. So we can reflect it on ourselves that yes, so I too have a human form, but I too actually am divine. So this is how one sees the truth, supreme truth, as this told by Rishabha, that yes, Rishabha was born, with all the signs, well-known signs of Lord Sri Hari. So Rishabha lived the life of an ideal householder. Rishabha first did not live the life of a monk. He had no desire for anything and yet he incarnated for spreading the religion to all people, and most of the people are householders. How many actually get to practice the spiritual disciplines suitable for monastics? Hardly any. And therefore, Rishabh practiced these disciplines and taught them through various these allegories and all that. Although it was for householder, if you see the disciplines ideally is not very different for householders and monastics. It is very similar to each other because he says that it is sufferings of pleasure. A person devoted to sense pleasures, they are like this. It is a big inferno. And this sermon was given actually to his sons. But not only to his sons, there were many thousands of others who were there assembled to listen to Rishabha's advice. So all of them were hearing. So although it is told that he was telling all this to his sons, but it is not just to his sons, but through his sons it was being directed to all people. Like Bhagavad Gita, although told to Arjuna, it is not limited only to Arjuna. Most of us read Bhagavad Gita and then get enlightened. Why? Because although it is not directly told to us, we identify, we connect ourselves to the divine, and thus we get that message through what is told to Arjuna. So that is how the methods are given, that okay, you are being shown these methods, although they are given to those people, but you can see how they will illumine you. So this is how the terrible conflagration of the fire that is described here, the life of sense enjoyments. So it burns ourselves. It is, we have to therefore practice discernment and dispassion. All those things are to be practiced to get release from the bondage. It is very important to do that. It is now he tells how one who is caught in this, how a person will get actually rescued from this inferno. It is because once you are there, the flames are going to just captivate and kill you. It is difficult to deal with such infernos. So what is to be done? He says there is the means for that, a means of rescue. They are mentioned here, that devotion and service to the Guru, who is none but God. God assumes the form of Guru. Guru and God are actually seen as the same being. So one cannot separate them. The Guru, as Sri Ramakrishna so many times said, that it is the Guru should not be thought of as a human being, should be thought of as the divine, and respect the Guru like that, so that the Guru manifests before you in that manner. Otherwise, it is just you are meditating on some very powerful being or someone who is having so many capabilities and so forth. So that is not Guru. One may be a disciple of a Guru who is highly elevated, but one should not have a human attitude about the Guru. That is what is Sri Ramakrishna used to mention, and used to behave like that with his various Gurus. So therefore it is said that Guru is none but God. And then holy company, we will see what is the meaning of holy company. It is seeing my presence in everything. My means, Rishabha is telling, so seeing God in everything. It is, so that is how one should treat this divine presence of the Guru. That is, the Guru is just God, and thus that will have the power to liberate us. So it is obviously a great step to think of Guru like that. So then study of scriptures, seeing my presence in everything, these are the means of rescue that we are caught in this terrible conflagration, and to get out of it is, these are the means. So as we adopt those means, we will see that our understanding grows. We are not then tortured by these fires as much, and we see the divine presence in all. So that is how it is told here. And then we see that he specially tells nobody is higher than holy person. Nobody is higher than holy person. So, but who is a holy person? That is a $1,000,000 question. Who is a holy person? It is this person, is it holy? That person who meditates a lot, is that person necessarily holy? What are the signs of a holy person? So it is important to get that message and see what is the holy person. It is not easy to consider somebody a holy person, because many times we imagine something that normally a person cannot do. If that person does, is called a holy person. Makes some magic and thus creates some hallucinating effect on somebody. So this is not being holy. The scriptures never tell that this is the sign of holiness. What is holiness? We must think of this, because many times we forget the real essence of being holy, and then consider many that capabilities of doing some miracles, all such things. That is considered as sign of being holy. So it cannot be judged by the external signs. That is very important, that by seeing just external signs, one cannot judge if somebody is holy or not holy. There is the inner characteristics that are to be looked into. Otherwise, we will not get the proper understanding of who is holy. So, like we see somebody doing, and I have experienced these things many times, that oh, this fellow is very holy. Just see, the disease of this person was cured by this fellow. So must be very holy. So Sri Ramakrishna used to criticize such people and would not think of them as holy at all. That is not the criterion to think of anybody as a holy person. So what is the that characteristics of holy person which are told here in Srimad Bhagavatam, that it is who is a holy person, it cannot be judged by external signs. It is a matter of purity of mind. So this is, and what does purity of mind mean? That one can say, okay, I am pure in mind. No, there are signs of it. That it is, they have highest adoration for the scriptures. That is one sign, that they will have highest adoration for the scriptures, and that is how they will have the critical understanding of what is holy. Then there is, they have complete control over the mind and the senses. That is again a very, very important sign. So if you do not have a complete control over your various passions, inputs that you get from the world, and you run after them, then you are not a holy person. So it is, they have nothing to call their own. These are all things told here. They have nothing to call their own. There is no idea of possessive, that this is mine and this is what is not mine, and so forth. No, I am mine. So these are some of them. They have nothing to call their own. They do not pray for any personal gains. That is very important. A holy person will not pray for personal gains. That it is, will be praying for the welfare of all. Not that, let my son be doing very well and so forth, It is not to be considered as the sign of holiness. One may pray like that, but then that shows that the person doesn't have that characteristic of holiness. Then, seeing that all things are ensouled by me, they salute and serve every being. Every single being is seen as the manifestation of God, and thus is served like that. So this is how the advice given by Rishabha, that one should serve such beings and be in their holy company, and then that will have a tremendous influence in removing the ignorance in our being. So this is the Now, this has been done for the householders. People who are householders, all this advice was given by Rishabh. But then there are those who would like to dedicate their life as monastics. So they thus decided that now I will tell about the monastic life. He himself he left for the forest to demonstrate the ideal of a monastic life. He took nothing with him except body. Put on an extremely repulsive appearance. Why repulsive appearance? Because nobody should get attracted to him looking at his appearance. So therefore it is required for a monastic person to put on a rather very, very coarse garments and that kind of appearance, so that people will not get attracted to the person. The person means it comes from the Greek persona, and that is the covering. Our persona means whatever is appearing as I. So that is taken up that appearance to let people understand that I am not an attractive person. So this is what he did. Put on an extremely repulsive appearance, travelled through cities, villages, military cantonments, cowherd settlements. All along the evil men persecuted him by threatening, beating, spitting on him. But being firmly established in the awareness of what is real, what is unreal, he was not perturbed by any of this. That is how a person practicing the disciplines for monastic life should do. The appearance would be not at all good looking, because if a monastic has a good looking appearance, then will attract many, especially the people of the other sex, would get attracted, and thus will not be able to practice the discipline. So, it is therefore required for a monastic person that should give up all earthly wealth and would take up an appearance. It is described that he was taking the appearance of a ghoul, and somebody who looked terribly bad in body. So all those appearances he took, and all through so many places he travelled. All along the evil men persecuted him by threatening, beating, spitting on him. But being firmly established in the awareness of what is real, what is unreal, he was not perturbed at all. So, this is how the sign of a holy person is, that does not get perturbed, goes on one's own destination without paying the least attention of what people are going to say. It is. So that is how this idea is there not to get attracted by anybody and not attracting anybody either is very, very important point here. That one can see the significance of it as we see our own behavior. That there is the attraction, we try to attract others and thus get caught. It is therefore a person of this practice should steadily reject those things, those ideas that, well, let me make my body look nice. No, in fact it should be made to look dirty. That it is how the appearance should be. So that is how Sri Ramakrishna said. There is a nice episode in Sri Ramakrishna's life that a man had come there and then he appeared to be a madman, and then would throw stones if somebody tried to follow him. And so Hriday, Sri Ramakrishna's this nephew, went for a long time. Ultimately he said, okay, the sign of real knowledge is when you will see the water, pure water in the Ganges and the water in a very muddy and dirty stream. They are the same. So thus you will see that sameness in that appearance. That is how the signs of a established person in the awareness of what is real and what is unreal. So he was thus not perturbed at all, seeing that, well, people who were hurling abuses or throwing stones, and they were, after all, they were not aware of the truth. So he did not mend his ways. He continued on his path like a person with great diligence. So it is. Thus, though he was the King of Kings, he veiled his divine nature from vulgar eyes by assuming the attitude of a senseless man in dress, language and conduct. Next, in order to show how great yogis abandon their body, he established himself in the perpetual consciousness of the Atman by recognizing the individuality of the Atman into the seer and the seen, and thus overcoming even the modicum of tendencies that he had assumed for the blessings of the world, without connection with even the Linga Sharira. It is subtle body, by the mere remaining momentum left of the impulsions given by Yoga Maya, his body travelled all over Venkata and Kantaka. They are the realms of different spiritual awarenesses, Venkata and Kantaka. So he adhered to those. they were included in Dakshina Karnataka. There he travelled in the forest at the foot of the mountain known as Kutakadri. So, like a ghoul with the mouth filled with stones, hair disheveled and stark naked. Once a forest fire broke out there by the mutual rubbing of the bamboos in a strong wind. The whole forest, along with his holy body, was burned in that fire. That is how his incarnation came to end. So, that is where the significance of his life is given. This we will stop here today. It is because I have got some throat issues, and so I began a little late, and so I will end a little early to balance it out, you see. So it is. Let us sing this prayer. Nigamakalpatarorgalitam phalam Shukamukhadamritadravasangyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuroho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavuka. O devotees, quaff, quaff to intoxication this nectar, the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. Now time for question answers. If you have a question, Richard has a question.
I do.
Okay.
Well, if you're purposely dressing in dirty clothes, you are dressing to attack derision. If you're naturally working hard and your clothes are dirty, good. But if you're purposely putting on dirty clothes, you're doing it to more or less attract attention. And you made a mistake.
That is what you are saying.
Yeah.
Has some meaning, that if you are that there is some meaning to it, that it becomes therefore attractive, even though it is meant to be non-attractive. It creates an attraction. So therefore one should take care of the principle that one should not have the looking of an attractive person. One should not put on the garb of an attractive person. So that is how you will escape the clutches of this Maya, which is name and form. If it is attractive, then somebody will get attracted to you. And that becomes very tough. So it is important that you do not have that attractive element in it. It is very important. Thank you. Good question.
Thank you.
Any other question?
No, there's no one question.
But he has a
Yes.
in-person question.
Yes, I have a question. So like Sri Ramakrishna related to his gurus as divine. I would say in part because he was actually perceiving the divine. So two-part perception, the human personality and a divine perception.
Yes, yes.
Coming down to the ordinary level of awareness, there is no divine perception, only the human personality. So divine is a kind of imagination of reality until realization. So how does one separate human personality from this imagination?
A very good question that it is, one has to see how the human aspect that is seen is transcended by the divine aspect. It is, you see in Sri Ramakrishna that very often that there is the human aspect is visible, but he would go transcend that human aspect and go to the divine aspect. It is, and thus get established in that. He had that tremendous awareness of God in everyone, and thus he could see that divine in anything.
Yes.
So, although he would see the human aspect too, but the human aspect was transcended by his this divine appearance or divine play. That okay, it is divine appearing as human form. So you go beyond that. It is, I give the example like that animal crackers. So you go beyond the appearance of, say, a tiger, a crocodile, and you know that what you are eating is not any of those things, and yet everything. So that is how Sri Ramakrishna would analyze and see. So and he had that potential there to do that. Thank you. So let us conclude with the closing chant.
Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol. Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol. Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol.
No.